Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Xander, a medical laboratory technologist, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about the education system here and what it's like to go through it. So I will just put this out there that I did only go to one school. I didn't go to multiple schools, so I don't know what the experience is like at the other schools. I do have a rough idea because the schooling is and the education is standardized, so it will be very similar across the different schools. If you want more information about where else you can do your schooling or education, you can go into my blog, and I do have a list there. I'll put a link below. To become a medical laboratory technologist, you do have to go through specific education requirements, and that includes going to particular colleges that offer the medical laboratory science program and that are backed by the CSMLS. So you can find the full list of those colleges and universities on their website. I'll link it below. I also provided some more educational resources on my personal blog as well. So if you do graduate from a medical laboratory technologist program anywhere in Canada, you can work in any province you like. You just have to double check and check all the registration requirements for that province to ensure that you do meet the provincial requirements to become a medical laboratory technologist there. So if you're going between provinces, make sure that you are up to date on your licensing, your registration, you have your certificate ready, that sort of thing. So on average, the program is 3 years, and some programs offer 2.5, some offer a bachelor's degree, which is 4 years, and it really depends on where you want to do your placement, where you want to study. So if you want to live closer to home, or if you want to move away from home, those are you have to take those into account. So it's very similar to just picking a regular college program. So even if you do hold a bachelor's previously, like I did, you aren't always able to transfer your transfer credits, you aren't always able to transfer your credits. You can transfer a few of them, which is what I did, like statistics, but because the programs are so specialized, you won't be able to transfer all your immunology courses, for it, so you won't be able to transfer those over into all the transfusion and hematology specific courses. So double check as well if you plan on trying to transfer your credits. You need to check specifically with the program coordinator and the college or the university itself to make sure that you're not surprised when transfer credits don't get accepted. Now, I know people asking about the bridging programs. So there are currently no bridging programs in effect yet. None from MLA to MLT, and none from university or bachelor's degree into medical laboratory science to shorten that educational period. They may be in the works soon, so keep on that. I think COVID put a little bit of a acceleration on the development of those programs. So we may see bridging programs pop up soon, hopefully, and that'll help decrease the shortage we have. First, I'll be talking about the program structure. I like to think of the program structure like my hand. Okay, so it's just like this. We have our palm, which represents the first year or the first 2 years, depending on the length of your program. And that's all your foundational knowledge that you'll be able to use to build up from there, so we can go into specific disciplines. In the second year, the year before we start our placement, we're gonna go into our specific disciplines and take those classes. So that includes histology, hematology, transfusion science, clinical chemistry, and clinical microbiology. And once we're done that year, we go into clinical placement to the clinical sites and use all our knowledge, just like our hands, and apply it every day in the lab. So that's a very simplistic view, and I hope it kind of gives you an idea of how we're going to progress through the program to become an entry-level medical laboratory technologist. So the palm of your hand is the first year, and it is a mix of general sciences, some maths. You can take English. I think there's some like electives. I transferred over those credits, and you're also going to get introduced into specimen integrity and procurement. So things like phlebotomy. So it's all very general. Like I said before, it is foundational. So work hard to establish your foundation, especially if you don't have that background. It's extremely important to build that foundation, so it makes it much easier in the next year or so to be able to comprehend and pull all that information together. So the second or third year, depending on the length of your program again, is really building those specific discipline knowledge. And this was the toughest year I found, because you're learning 5 separate disciplines, and while they all intertwine at least a little bit, sometimes some more than others, you do need to know a lot of information you're learning in a very short amount of time. So you really have to be keeping up with that studying every day, which is why I did say build up the foundational knowledge so it makes it easier in your second year, so you're not having to go back and relearn or completely learn from new topics that should be cemented in your mind. So this is a pretty tricky year. I think I spent a lot of time studying and reviewing information. The best thing about it though is you're constantly building on, so in each discipline you're constantly building up. So you learn something and you have to review it before you go on to the next one. So you're solidifying your knowledge continuously as you go through that, as you progress through the courses. And then comes the last year, the final year of your studies, which is clinical placement. So you get to use your hands and do hands-on learning and apply those couple of years of knowledge that you have just gained and really cement your knowledge, but also you get a chance at developing those skills. So you did have labs in school, but those were simulated, which is great, but now you get to work in a real life lab, you get to see it. And for a lot of people, placement is where you enter a medical laboratory for the first time. And it may not be what you expect, or it could be completely what you expect. But either way, when you walk into the lab, you're going to learn something. So for me, it was critical because I was really able to build those connections. So it shortened my study time for the certifying exams and the rotational exams that I had, because I was able to build the connections between the theoretical knowledge and the application. It helped me really solidify all these learning objectives and competencies that I had to acquire as I was during this educational program. And that's it for the MLT education. I really hope that gives you a bit more insight into what it's like to go through schooling for a medical laboratory technologist. And if you have more questions, feel free to comment below. If you enjoyed the video, like it, and if you're eager to hear more content, please subscribe. I also post and have currently some more information on education and resources as well for the profession. So feel free to check out my blog. It's mltsander.ca. Stay safe, everyone.